In my first video, I introduced you to the possibility of transforming your brain into a powerful virtual reality machine using a procedure which I've termed sensualisation. So let's start by considering our powers of visual imagery, since most people find it easiest to develop this sensation rather than the others. Next, we'll add sounds to those sights, and then we'll include sensations of smell and touch and taste before working on our bodily sense, our kinesthetic sense. I don't really need to set about creating formal training sessions. Merely take whatever opportunities offer themselves to heighten all your senses by developing a greater awareness of your surroundings, and do this in a variety of different situations wherever you find yourself. At first, you should occupy yourself for just a couple of minutes. This is because most people find it quite hard to focus much longer than this on any single task without finding their concentration interrupted and disturbed by intruding thoughts and ideas and concerns and worries. With only a little practice, however, you'll find it easier and easier to focus your mind on just one sensory input, such as the sights or sounds around you, and you'll be able to do this for longer and longer periods. Now, when I suggest to people that they need to train themselves to see, many often respond with indignation. They'll say to me, "Well, there's nothing wrong with my eyesight. I've got perfect vision." In saying that, they are often confusing looking with seeing, which are in fact two very different things. Very different ways of making sense of the visual world. So let's consider for a moment how most people view the scenes around them. If they are very familiar with their surroundings, they tend to see what they expect to see rather than what is actually there. They only notice something if it's unusual or unexpected. This is why starting your practice when you're in a different location, say on a holiday, is very often easier because everything looks slightly strange. The thing is, when we're talking to friends or colleagues, we're more likely and quite rightly to be attending to what we're saying to them or what they're saying to us. When alone with our thoughts, we are often distracted by what's going on between our ears rather than in front of our eyes. This blindness to our surroundings is very well illustrated by a British TV commercial which was promoting road safety and greater driver awareness. They have very kindly given me permission to use this in my work as a psychologist because it provides such an excellent demonstration of how people generally fail to notice most of what is in front of their eyes. So take a close look at this short video, which is a little detective story, and then reflect on what you've actually seen.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Why, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
But how did you know?
Madam, as any horticulturist will tell you, one does not plant petunias until May is out. Take her away.
Sorry, madam.
It's just a matter of observation. The real question is, how observant were you?
How many changes did you notice in this short video? Most people spot just 2 or 3. So let's take a closer look at what happened. I think you'll be surprised about what was actually occurring.
And action.
Clearly, somebody in this room murdered Lord Smythe, who, at precisely 3:34 this afternoon, was brutally bludgeoned to death with a blunt instrument. I want each of you to tell me your whereabouts at precisely the time that this dastardly deed took place.
I was polishing the brass in the master bedroom.
I was buttering his lordship's scones below stairs, sir.
Why, I was planting my petunias in the potting shed.
Constable, arrest Lady Smythe.
The message here is that we tend to see what we expect to see rather than what we actually see. We are looking rather than seeing, taking in the world around us in a distracted rather than a mindful way. To create a sensualization, we first have to master the art of seeing the real world in order to create a virtual one behind our eyes and between our ears. When out and about during your normal working day, start paying very careful attention to all that you see, while taking far less notice of the information from your other senses. Start by viewing the whole scene, before you then start to focus in on smaller and smaller details. If walking in the countryside, for example, survey the whole landscape as if you were seeing everything before your eyes for the first time. Notice the way the fields intersect, how hedges, walls or fences follow the contours of the countryside. Observe the shadows cast by the trees and the hedgerows. Become aware of different colours and hues. If in a town or city, study the shape of the buildings, the slant of the roofs, and the textures of the walls. Examine shop windows. Notice the displays, the design, the shape and the colour of the objects which are being sold. Look around you at the bustling crowds and pay attention to the people around you. Look at the different ways they move, how they stand, how they gesticulate, how they converse. The best way of doing this is to hold up your head quite straight and examine the scene in front of you. Move your eyes slowly from right to left and then back again, keeping track of what you see. Now move your eyes down from the top and up from the bottom. Again, seeing what is in front of you. After about 30 seconds, close your eyes and try and recall as clearly as you can everything that was in front of your eyes. See the scene from right to left, from left to right, from top to bottom and from bottom to top. Now, open your eyes and see how successful you were. What object did you remember clearly? What did you see less clearly in your mind's eye? What did you perhaps forget entirely, or see in the wrong order? Now transfer your gaze from the whole area to a more detailed of your surroundings. For example, if you're in the countryside, study the texture of the bark of trees, the way the sunlight spills through the leaves. If it's early morning, look at the dew on the grass, or the spider's web woven between two plants. Try and take in all these small details as closely as possible. Try and imagine how it would all appear if you were a visitor from a strange land or even another planet. You've never seen the countryside or the towns before. You've never seen buildings or traffic lights or people or plants or flowers. You're seeing them for the first time. When you're able to focus intensely on the visual aspects of your surroundings, and able to do this for a minute or two, I suggest you change your emphasis from looking to listening. In the next lesson, I'll explain how to enhance your ability to listen to, rather than merely hear, the world around you.